Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all have been happy, safe, and healthy. In today's video, I want to talk about ways to maximize your productivity as a student. The first tip is something that you guys already know, but you're probably just not doing it enough, is to get enough sleep. Remember when we were young and we used to have proper bedtimes or even nap times? It might be time to revisit that now that we are older. I have to admit, I was not the best about sleeping in my first 2 years of medical school. I guess in the beginning I was like, yeah, I'll sleep enough, but then there were some times I was just like, no, there's so much material, I have to stay up and I really need to learn and try to memorize as much as I can. I am going to admit that I have pulled a few all-nighters or close to all-nighters, and it was like a toss-up of whether or not it was good, helpful or not. And the mentality of I'll sleep when I'm dead, or sleep is for the weak, or grinding nonstop is not really the best tool when you are going to be learning and having to memorize so much material. We know studies show that getting enough sleep helps with your memory. So why not use that tool? Who doesn't love sleeping? Make sure you start to figure out your bedtime and see what works. I am actually, over the last couple weeks, have been trying to get into a routine around my sleep and to make sure that I'm getting enough sleep so that I can wake up a little earlier sometimes. And if I need to get something done before I study or I start doing anything, I'm all right, at this time right now I'm playing around with trying to be sleeping by 11:30, which seems kind of late, I guess, but depending on what time you're waking up, you could get a solid 7 hours of sleep. So I'm working on it, and if you guys want to work on it too with me, let's do it, and let's take control of our sleep so that we can be the best students ever. So my next tip, I mentioned that I'm trying to form a routine around sleep. Well, I think another important tip is to establish a morning routine for when you do wake up. For me, it has been waking up and doing some sort of physical activity. For me, that's how I get my brain flowing. I get the blood moving all through my body, and that really just helps me wake up and to feel energized. It doesn't have to be that. I know some people don't like working out early in the morning, some people like working out at night or in midday, whatever. But think about how you want to navigate what you do in the morning. You wake up, I usually have a glass of water right away, and then I start the day from there. Whatever it takes to give you energy, even if it's having your cup of coffee or praying, meditating. I want to say I don't want to say scroll on Instagram because I feel like you should have some time between waking up and exposing yourself to the world and activating your brain so much and taking all this extra stimuli that can be good or bad depending on what you're seeing. So maybe try to avoid scrolling on Instagram, maybe for the first hour that you're up, and having breakfast and morning skincare, whatever it is. Having a morning routine can help set you up for the rest of the day. On to the tips that are specific to studying and being a student. The next tip is to get rid of any distractions. So you got enough sleep, you did your morning routine, now you're getting ready to sit down at your desk and start studying. For me, my biggest distraction is my phone. And I think most of us could agree. If somebody texts you or you get an Instagram notification or whatever social media, Twitter, whatever, as soon as you sit down at your desk and your phone, you get the notification, like your brain is going to go to the notification versus what you're about to start learning. So for me, I try to turn my phone off completely. Though if those who are close to me or know me or need me know that they can email me, like I'll take breaks to check my email. It sounds a little crazy, but I'll periodically check my email because there's only so long you can check your email, right? Like, anyway. But turning off your phone or putting it on do not disturb so that you can really focus on, what you need to be studying. I always remind myself, like, if I need to study for 3 hours after school or after I leave the hospital, like, in those 3 hours, there is nothing on Instagram that is going to help me succeed on my exam. Like, realistically, the things that I'm looking at is like random memes and funny videos, right? Those things are not going to help me. So I have to eliminate that, just for the time that I'm studying. I can go back to it after I'm done and I've completed everything that I need to do for the day. So maybe it's not even your phone. Maybe I know some people who don't really get distracted by their phone. Like, maybe it's, who knows, video games or something. Like, maybe you need to study in a different part of your apartment or your room, or move the Xbox to another area, put it in your closet or something until you're done studying. Whatever is going to be a distraction for you, eliminate that thing. My next tip is to have a study space that is made for success. That means wherever you're studying, for most of us, we are studying at home. I used to be one of those people that would study on campus or study in the library, but most of us are studying at home. So what does your study space look like? My desk is pretty bare bones, like there's not much up, it's pretty plain, but I keep the essentials. What do I need to study? That's usually my laptop, my iPad, maybe like a notebook or something, or if I'm using a physical textbook, I'll have the textbook on my desk. And then like the pens and highlighters, whatever, obviously to write with. But other than that, nothing else is really on my desk or like around me. I used to have like a cork board up with like, things and just like reminders or fun like memories and stuff. And that's cool. Like, that's not really distracting. That could actually be like motivating. Like, if you put up like, I'm gonna be a doctor, or I'm going to be a nurse on your study space, like that can like push you to study a little bit longer. So consider setting up your space for success. Okay, so you're finally sitting down and your space it's not distracting. You don't have your phone out, you don't have any crazy things hung up or anything that could derail you from what you need to do today. So the next thing that I usually do is make a to-do list for the day. So how many lectures do I need to get through? What pages in the textbook do I need to read? How many flashcards am I gonna do? I take a few minutes and just jot down the list of things. And what's that saying? Like, keep it simple, silly. Like, keep it simple, silly, or stupid. You guys know what I mean. Like, make sure that your to-do list is like manageable. Like, you don't have 25 things on there when you only have 5 hours to study. Like, let's keep it realistic so that you can get the majority of the stuff done that you need to get done. A lot of the times, especially now in med school, you have to study for long periods of time in most cases. Like, let's say you're studying for, a big exam, a shelf exam, like your board exams, like step 1, step 2. There are times you do have to study for like 8 to 10 to 12 hours, depending on who you are, the day, whatever. And the way that I'm able to do that is the Pomodoro method or technique, and I might be pronouncing that wrong. But basically the idea is to have a set period of time to study, and then a set break. To do that, you can easily just set a timer. For me, I'll just look at the clock, and I'll have 50 minutes of studying, and then 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes of a break. And that's how I'm basically able to study for like 8 hours, because I've scheduled my breaks. Obviously, if I'm taking like a lunch break, I'll have like 30 minutes or 45 minutes in the middle of the day, or like a dinner break. So those breaks will be longer, but for the majority, like just going hard for 50 minutes or whatever time you pick, and then taking a break for 10 minutes, which could be like, I just get out of my chair, do a little dance, a little shake, listen to music, do a little, just something to like give my brain a second to have it's called the Tree app, I believe, or Forest app. And that's really a fun way, because if you're one of those people who if you keep your phone on, or your iPad or whatever, you set the times, and then basically, like, if you like look at your phone, or like you open it up, like it kills a tree, and you don't want to kill a tree, so so they're fun. It's like kind of fun to like play that game with yourself, and I found that to be super, super helpful. It's pretty much the only way I can study. I'm not one of those people that can study straight through for 6 hours. Like, that's just not happening. My brain needs a break. I need to listen to some music or watch like a 10-minute YouTube video, and then I can continue on with studying for as many hours as possible. So I highly recommend doing that. Figure out what times work best for your brain and how much break time you need, and then go from there. And I think you'll really see like a boost in your productivity and how much you're able to study in a given day. Another major tip that I think is really, really helpful is to do the hardest task first. So I used to have this habit of, I would have, let's say, 5 things on my to-do list, and the first 3 were pretty like easier things. Like, I don't want to say dumb things, but they were easier things to do, like, oh, I need to do 100 flashcards or something like that. And to make myself better and to make myself feel like I was getting through the to-do list, I would try to do like those 3 things first, and then feel like accomplished. But then like the 2 things that really were going to take much more brain power and more energy, I would leave till like the end of the day. And then by the end of the day, you're tired and you don't want to study anymore. So to have the hardest things be at the bottom of your to-do list isn't that productive, and then you end up leaving it on your list and having to do it tomorrow, or having more to do the next day, and that's not cute. So you need to put those things at the top, the harder things at the top, and get those done first, and then you can go on and do like the smaller tasks after, and you're gonna see like you're getting so much more done, because you're using your brain doing the hardest things in the beginning, and then at the end of the day you're like, oh yeah, I got 100 flashcards to do, I need to email my professor about this, and then you're done. You've done everything on your to-do list, and you're going to be killing it, okay? Killing it. So overall, that's pretty much my major tips for increasing productivity. If you've been in like a little bit of a rut like I have been, then it might be time to sort of switch our mindsets and start being more productive and being the best versions of ourselves as students, so that we can start getting those good grades that we want to see. And that just comes with forming habits and making sure that you can be as productive as you can be, all while still sleeping and scrolling on. You can scroll on Instagram when you're done studying. All those things can still happen, but it's just making sure that we focus and hone in on what needs to get done, so that we can be our most successful selves. So if you guys have any other tips that you'd like to share with other people, please leave them in the comments, and we can help make each other be the best students that we can be. This is going to be a great year where we can get all these A's that we deserve, okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.